Hello, everybody. Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, and I'm covering an interesting article, something that I don't normally cover. Um, it's about a pregnant Australian woman and couple that want to have, a home birth, um, give birth to their infant at home, and they were visited by the police by orders of the hospital, which by orders of the state. Um, make it mandatory for her to be in touch and to do all these tests and screenings with the hospital. And I guess she got a police visit here, so I'm going to go ahead and read some of it, but not all of it. It says a hospital that wants a mother to have her baby induced sent police to her home after she was failed to keep an appointment yesterday. Rochelle Allen, who is reluctant to be induced even though her baby is 12 days overdue, was told by the hospital that they intended to go ahead with the procedure when she came in. But after speaking to her midwife following a visit to the hospital the day before and being assured that her baby was fine, she decided not to attend the hospital the next day. Now Miss Allen is furious after two police officers arrived on her doorstep after they were called by Bathurst Hospital. Wanting a home birth, Miss Allen, 24, has been under the care of a private midwife and has been attending the hospital daily to monitor the baby's health. I couldn't believe it when I saw the police officers at my door, Miss Allen said. They told me that they had been asked by the hospital to check on my welfare because I had not attended. The hospital knew I did not want to be induced, and they gave me no medical reason why I should be. Throughout her pregnancy, Miss Allen and her partner, Daniel Jones, have been regularly attending the hospital's antenatal clinic for mandatory tests and scans to monitor the baby's progress. A hospital spokesman confirmed police were sent to Miss Allen's house to conduct a, quote, welfare check. The spokesman said doctors were worried about the mother and she had previously complied with all appointments. Miss Allen said she had decided on having a home birth after a, quote, horrific experience at the same hospital 2 years ago with their son Bailey was born. I was induced and I spent 48 hours in labor, she said. I don't want to go through that again. Miss Allen is not against medical intervention and she would not hesitate to deliver at the hospital if her baby's life was threatened. If they had told me that my baby was in danger, then I would have the baby in the hospital, she said. But they could give me no reason, and all the tests show that there were no problems. By late yesterday, Miss Allen had started labor at home and was in the care of her midwife. This afternoon, Miss Allen received an apology from the Greater Western Area Health Service for an unexpected police visit, saying they just wanted to check if she was all right. It says, we are sorry if we caused any distress, but our intention was to check on her welfare. And it says the health service denied that it was trying to pressure Miss Allen into being induced. Basically, once the press got onto it, they backed off. That's what it was. Hannah Darlene from the Australian College of Midwives said calling on police to check on parents was not common practice. It doesn't sound like someone who was shunning care in any way under those circumstances. It's certainly not common practice, she told ABC Radio. This incident comes as a debate over the safety of home births continues, with the federal government under pressure to change the law to allow midwives insurance if they attend a home birth. Home Births Australia Secretary Justin Keynes, said the case demonstrated how women are, quote, too often treated during pregnancy and birth very poorly. The Royal Australian and New Zealand College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists President Dr. Ted Weaver said the women were usually induced 14 days after their due date. If the mom didn't want to be induced after 14 days, then you would conduct extra tests, he said. The reason people get worried about going overdue is because there's a slight chance that the baby could die suddenly in utero for no reason. And so that was the entire story. And I just wanted to tie that story in with another Australian story where it says government to teach parents how to raise children, because it kind of gives a little bit of background as far as the state and in Australia goes, because they are more socialistic and the people accept it a little bit more over there. But from a little bit I know about Australia, I've been there a couple times, and everything I've learned from history and that is that Australians used to be pretty independent and self-sustainable, and to be able to defend themselves. And now it's, you know, good luck if you want to carry a gun, a firearm. And they have a lot of rules and regulations, and that's usually what comes along with having a huge state, huge government. And the biggest thing is that they want to have control over the family. State programs, welfare programs. They want to raise your child. And here we have and as far as the midwife goes, people have been, families have been having midwives and giving home births for thousands, if not, thousands of years. As long as, we've been, in caveman days. So, I think the right should always be reserved to the parent, to the mother who's carrying the child. The state has nothing to do with it. But when you're living in the system that we're living in, where you have social security numbers and you are pretty much property of the state, then that baby is no longer really yours, is it? You're just kind of half owner of it, and the baby is half owner of the state. And so that's what they're looking at, and that's how they view it. Plus, it's a liability thing where the hospital doesn't want to get sued for, if she were to go home and then the baby dies, and then they sue her. So they're just covering in her ass. But just to tie it in with this story, government to teach parents how to raise children. So let's read this. And this was January 17th, 2010. It says, government workers will teach Victorian parents how to raise their children under a radical overhaul of the state's child protection system. Over 50 new social workers will be hired as part of a pilot program to fix troubled homes and help struggling parents, the Sunday Herald Sun newspaper says. The move comes after months of controversy surrounding the state government's handling of child services. So here we go again, like that mother, yeah, she's having a problem going to the hospital and getting, having a birth induced, because what did she say? She had 48 hours of birthing her last baby, and it was hell on earth, and so she doesn't trust the hospital. And then here we go again. The move comes after months of controversy surrounding the state's government's handling of child services. So, these people aren't nuts. There's a reason why they don't want the state messing with them. But here we go. An ombudsman's report raised serious questions about the capacity of the Department of Human Services to protect children, detailing cases where children were living with convicted sex offenders, which is no surprise because we have that here in America with CPS, Child Protective Services. Their last, goal is to protect the child, and it's usually who they have, the social workers and whatnot. In September last year, state officials admitted they knew nothing of a case in which a woman was allegedly abused by her father for 30 years until it was featured in media reports. Community Service Minister Lisa Neville is expected to announce the details of the parenting pilot project on Sunday, the paper says. Under the plan, new hired social workers will spend up to a year teaching parents basic skills such as disciplining children, making healthy meals, and managing school schedules. They may also help parents manage the family's budget, Ms Neville told the Sunday Herald Sun. So you can see individuality and individualism is totally out the door with this. Developing schedules for a new baby, safe sleeping arrangements, how to manage a toddler or difficult adolescents, even how to play educational games with their kids are all activities mentors can help families with. The parental workers will be trained in identifying family violence, substance abuse, and mental health issues. Yeah, and of course they're not going to, it's not like the state's going to come in and teach them about state violence and how the state is used to force taxes and services that citizens don't want, but that they're bound by. And if they don't, they get imprisoned, they're shot and killed. So they're not going to teach about that violence, and they're not going to teach about how safe food is having saccharin and aspartame in your food and giving you vaccines pumped full of mercury and cancerous animal cells is healthy. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you to take your vaccine, that the state is God, that you need us, that you can't manage your baby, your toddler, your infant. You can't manage a budget. You can't keep a family budget. You're stupid. You need the state. You must have the state.